Hi, this is your survival man, RJ here at FAFSA Friend. You know, it's tough surviving in the wilderness. You really have to keep in mind the basics. You gotta remember the most important thing about surviving in the wilderness. Make sure you think. Make sure you keep your wits about you. Think about where you're going to find shelter, water, food. Very important. But I'm not really an expert on surviving in the wilderness. But I am someone who can help you with your financial aid survival. So this is an episode on what is financial aid? Financial aid survival. I'm your financial aid survival man. Let's talk about something that you really won't find really anywhere. Books, magazines. What you need to know on this segment is that you can actually lose your financial aid. The financial aid that's awarded to you in your award letters in your hands. And this segment is how do I prevent things like that from happening. So, first thing is something that you should have heard before, but it's worth mentioning again. Financial aid deadlines. Very important. In fact, your state agency, your state where you live in, probably has some really nice financial aid programs. Now take New York, New Jersey for instance. They're two of the wealthiest states, two of the most generous states for financial aid. They have grants up to $5,000–$6,000 for a year. But if you miss their deadline, even by as much as 1 day, you'll lose that grant, period, end of sentence, that's it. Wait until next year. So keep in mind financial aid deadlines and deadlines for your state agency. Very, very important not to lose that money. Now, here's something that students generally do and get nailed and get hurt after it all happens. You take 12 credits, you're taking 4 classes, and then you decide, well, you know what? I don't think this is going to work out. I'm going to go home. So you withdraw from all your classes, boom, you're gone. Up until that point, you got enough financial aid, covers your bill, you're looking good. But here's what happens. The college has a refund policy. Maybe at the first day, you can get a 100% refund, but if you withdraw at the end of the first week or at the end of the second week, well, maybe the college will only refund half of your tuition and you're charged half, 50%. But financial aid doesn't work that way. They look at how much financial aid you earn based on the number of weeks that you are in attendance. So let's say you withdrew after the second week and you have a $1,500 Pell Grant and you're in a 15-week semester. Well, if you withdraw at the end of 2 weeks, you only get 2/15 of your Pell Grant, which means out of $1,500, you're only going to be left with $200. But in the meantime, your college has charged you 50% of your bill. That means a bill that was once covered by financial aid, you could be on the hook for thousands of dollars now that your financial aid has been reduced and your college bill is still there looking for some money. So before you do that, before you take any results in leaving college, come up, see your financial aid counselor, talk to them about how that kind of an action can hurt you or what you can do to prevent it. And here's something similar, but along the same lines. Let's say you're in college, you have 12 credits, 4 classes, and you decide that one class, well, that teacher must have been born on another planet. There is no way you're going to stay with that teacher. So you go back to your computer, drop that class. You went from 12 credits to 4 classes, now you're down to 9 credits, only 3 classes. Well, some programs, some financial aid programs are based on being a full-time student. So when the financial aid is actually paid to your account, if you're not full-time, at the point that money's paid, program's gone. History canceled. So, what's the moral of this story? Again, thinking of dropping a class, withdrawing from a class, before you take a step, go to your financial aid office, speak to your counselor, and say, I'm thinking of dropping a class. Should I do it now? Later? How can I avoid a negative impact? Okay? And lastly, list for this segment, I'm going to say something that may sound kind of silly. Read your mail or email. Now, what's the big deal? Here's the big deal. Let's say the financial aid office hasn't awarded you yet because they're waiting for you to send in a tax return or proof of citizenship or something of that nature. So they send you a letter or an email notice. And you take your mail, comes and stick it in the desk, or you haven't looked at your email in a couple of weeks. Well, as the financial aid office is waiting for your response and for you to bring in the document they're waiting for, they're awarding students after students after students. And maybe by the time that you actually do look at the letter and respond, a lot of that good financial aid, that gift aid, has been awarded and is gone. So by the time they actually get to awarding you, they can't give you all the money you're eligible for. So basic line, keep your mail handy, put it in one spot, look at your email regularly. If you have any questions about what they want, just give the financial aid office a call. They'll be glad to explain what they need, why they need it, and how you can go get it. Well, if you need more information about things like that, about how financial aid can be lost, well, take a look at this book. It's called Fast Tracking the FAFSA. It has a lot more information about those kinds of things and how you can keep the financial aid you're awarded where it belongs, in your pocket. It's available on Amazon.com. Great book, small price. Or you can even go to our website at www.fafsafriend.com. Well, I'm beginning to lose daylight, so I better get going and find myself some shelter. This is RJ with FAFSA Friend. Stay warm.